Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. This is one of a series of little pots I made out of a slab cut off the end of a very green elm log. This one warped more than the others, it's gone quite a bit, and I put the beads on hoping that the thing would warp this far, and that just kind of emphasizes the movement. It's got a rounded base, so it does tend to rock around a bit, but it doesn't fall over. And how this is made is what you're going to see in this video. There's a bit of elm, cross grain. You can see the end grain there and the loops, and I don't need all that screw. I've got this as the Vic Mark 3-in-1 chuck using the middle diameter, and I think 2 spacers. I need about ½ an inch to hold this of thread. Hold the spindle and just cinch it up. ½ inch spindle gouge. And then in from the other face, just using the right wing. If you bring the tool in flute up, straight up, you'll have a catch every time, unless you're hanging on so fearfully that it can't move anywhere, but normally you have the catch. If you're hanging on to it, maybe the wood will come off. So it's rolled over slightly, so it flutes out about 45 degrees. I was expecting that to be round, but there's still a flat there. Quite nice colour coming up. So it's going to be a taller pot than I was expecting in relation to its diameter. It's face work, cross grain, so in theory you want the cuts on the outside from the smaller to larger diameter for a shear cut. This is going to be turned off at the bottom. I'm really thinking in terms of round bottom piece. So all I need is a foot for the moment, and that will all be dealt with later. Now, normally here I do the bottom half and then turn it around and do the top half from the other side. Just shear scraping around there. So this, the very wet wood, growing a couple of weeks, oh, I think it was last week, and or maybe no, this was growing a little bit longer, about a month ago. But still the metal will stay in the wood, but that's all going to get turned off later, so it's not really an issue. So now I'm going to be looking at the overall shape, the outside. Now this piece, because it's wet, should distort. So what I'll do is get the inside out, most of the inside, then come back and refine the outside. It's a 3/8 spindle gouge. Going alright, might as well use it as a drill. And I can go in up as far as the end of the HSS. This is the 1/4 inch deep fluted bowl gouge, small one. Asymmetric grind, very long point bevel. It's really helpful to get the rest a bit in at right angles to the direction you're cutting, if you can. Go with this. This might even get reshaped someday, just for this cut. Now I'm hoping to give you a view of the entry cut here without blocking your view. So the aim is to line the bevel up with where I want to go, which is in that way. Get it in there and get a shear cut from there. Onto the wood, and the dust extractor is getting in the way, that's it. Take the middle bits out with a square end scraper, and I need to know how far down I'm going. So there will be about far enough. So that's got the bulk of it out. It's now down to, I'll show you how far it's down to. Down to about 3/8 of an inch. So now I aim to get a clean cut with a gouge round to here. Right, done. That's absolutely clean round to this point. And the rest of that can be done with a, you can get in there with a big round nose scraper. There's the 1 inch. I could possibly take a bit more out in the fullness of the curve here, which I'll do with the gouge. Now I need a longer bevel on this tool to do that, so I can get in just more comfortably, so I'll just touch that up. And so this is where the asymmetric gouge is handy. I've got a very long bevel in there, and then the steeper right shoulder picks up the shaving and hogs out a pretty good shaving in there. It should do. Let me just control that. Normally I'm right across the handle there. I want to hold it near the ferrule and have this up against my forearm, so I can get right over pretty much with that, and then I can go pivot the tool around the corner. Slight kind of lump there. This is getting quite thin. Right, you probably won't see this. But you'll hear it, which is almost as important. Now down to less than that. Now down to about 1/8 of an inch, which is, I find, about right for these things. And I can feel a little lump down in the bottom. I should be fine getting in there with the 1 inch round nose now. Yep, got heaps of room. Have a little trial run, see that I could actually do with a narrower tool in there. So this is a 3/4 inch round nose, and I can feel the curve cut with the gouge. Then there's a slight lump, so I just follow that on round. See where it is there, and follow it on round. This tool's got a very short handle. You could do it being twice the length here. Get all this muck out. feel the shape with the end of the tool. No point in trying to look because there's stuff in the way. Right, there's a slight pimple dead center, otherwise that's pretty good. Now I do look. Especially when I've got some light. Can't see center, but I know pretty well where it is. I can feel it. And you just need to drop the hand a little bit, come through from underneath. Right, so that's that. Now I'm going to stick a few, I was going to do a bit more shaping on the outside, but there's no room for that. Just put a few beads up and that'll be that. So it's going to be done with the 3/8 spindle gouge. Don't need too many beads, I just want something which will emphasize the warping as it takes place. That'll do. This is the wing of the tool, the shear straight with a teeny lump. There. And I tend to think these look better if they sit prior to the surface, so we'll have the whole lot sitting up. Just dropping the rest a bit so that the tool's coming pretty well at center height. If you're cutting with the rest higher up, you've effectively got a wide open angle and you need to raise the handle a lot to get a negative rake. Good. That gets sanded. .120 grit to start with. Just tilting that lip in a bit. That's partly so that if I paint the inside, I've got a nice crisp lip to work to. Yellow, which is the 180 grit. It'd be nice to define those beads just a bit better, and I can do that with the point of the skewed chisel. It is a little bit risky. If you don't get this blade dead straight, you're going to have a catch and lose a bead. The idea is to just go across I stuffed that one, just got it slightly in the wrong position. Just defines the beads a bit better. So there's a bit of fuzz at the top, the bottom one rather, and that's still not gone. Just get in with the tool on its side. My eyesight is not the best at the moment. And some blue, which is the 240 grits. It's already beginning to change shape slightly. The next thing is going to be to turn it around and do the bottom. I'm a bit nervous about this rim, just looks as though it's getting a bit fragile. Slight line there which should sand out. That's gone. Right, so yes, rechucking this. That's getting fairly fragile, that rim. I don't want to put it over the chuck because as you turn on the chuck, the jaws just expand a little bit, and that's often enough just to split your form. So this will be going essentially jammed between centers. So, and it won't go over those jaws, so I need the smaller ones. That is slightly out of whack. Right, that goes in there. Yes, it feels as if it's gripping on the inside. I need a small ring just to support that. There's a little MDF spacer which I've just made a whole batch, and there's a little video on that. And the advantage of the MDF is that you can turn it and waste it. So this is going to be a rounded pot, so get at it with the 1/2 inch 3/8 spindle gouge. Yellow, 1/8 grit. So you'll be wondering how I get at the end, and there's the macho approach, which is just hanging onto it with your bare hands and or keeping the abrasive up there. So I'll have a go at that. That's not going to work, so it's got to be done with power sanding. Not going to mess around with any of these great jigs which would hold it up onto a faceplate. Life's too short for playing around like that, to my mind. So this is 240 grit. So this now goes into the microwave oven for a bit. It's started to move already. It's 46 mil, and that is 48.5. So it's beginning to dry out. Here's what 90 seconds does for this bit of green elm. better than I hoped for. And finally oiled with boiled linseed oil.